Welcome back to the Feel Your Freedom podcast. I'm here. My name is Emily. Thank you so much for tuning in this week for episode number 15. Today, we are going to be talking about the perfect program and how you might be ruining it. Now, ruining might be a little clickbaity, but this is a super important episode. And I think one that anyone can benefit from regardless of your training age. So regardless of how long you've been training, whether you're brand new or you've been training for years, I think this is a super important kind of a mindset flip, if you will, that we can all kind of take advantage of in our training. So let's just dive right in. As a coach, I have so many tricks up my sleeve, right? Maybe tricks isn't the right word for it, but I know a lot of different ways to help you reach your goals and progress exercise in a way that meets you where you're at, takes your exercise and injury history into consideration, and ensures that we're reducing the risk of injury in the process, right? So over the years, I found what works, what doesn't, right? There's textbooks full of information. We've learned lots of information, all different ways to progress, right? The point is, as coaches, we have tons of tools in our toolbox, right? So we're going to run with this toolbox analogy. When I was writing the script for this show, I really liked how it kind of turned out. And I think it makes it definitely more relatable that we can all kind of relate to. So we can use a hammer and nails, or we can use a screwdriver and screws, right? So, but if we tried to use a hammer with a screw, we're probably not going to work that great, right? It's not going to go super well. As a coach, my job is to select the right tools for the project at hand, in this sense, the project being you and your health and fitness goals. But in this analogy, I can only hand you, the builder, the tools, right? I don't have the ability to actually use them. I have the ability to pick them up out of the thing. If I think it calls for a hammer and nails, I have the ability to pick up a hammer, pick up the nails, lay them down next to you. You, as the builder, has to put that house together. Do you see where I'm going with this yet? Taking ownership, taking that responsibility of your program is not only one of the most empowering things you can do, but one of the most important things you can do for your success, right? For real. Like, I'm not even joking. While yes, we as coaches play a role in everyone's transformation, and it truly is one of my favorite parts of the job, I can lay out all the tools for the job, right? I can give you the most well thought out program, but if those tools just sit there, it's likely that the raw materials, all the wood, tile, insulation, drywall, etc., they just sit right alongside with them. The house does not build itself. The project does not complete itself, right? In the same way, the reps, sets, tempo, etc., they don't matter if you don't execute them, right? Bring it back to fitness. As a coach, I can put all those things in your program. I can put the tempo, the sets, the reps. I can say how slow, what equipment, where, how. I can lay out all the instruction for you. But if they only stay on the paper, your results that you want will only stay a goal that will happen sometime in the future. It won't build itself into reality. You have to take that step to take action, right? I, as the coach, can't take that action for you. I can't schedule your appointment to the gym. I can't lift the weights for you. Well, I can, but you know what I mean. It won't really get the benefit for you. I will then get the benefit from lifting the weights. I can't resist the afternoon stack times. I can't drink your water. I can be there for coaching, accountability, support, to provide the information, to provide more tools, but I cannot take the action for you. You have to make that decision yourself, right? You have to choose action or you have to choose inaction. And by not taking action, that is still a choice, right? If you choose inaction, that's totally okay. There's nothing more that I, as a coach, can help you with towards your goal, right? Say your goal is weight loss. Say our goal, we're working on drinking more water. If you choose, and I can give you all the tips, tricks, hacks in the world to drink more water. Adding a squeeze of lemon, front loading your water throughout the day, supplementing with an unflavored sparkling water, all these things, right? I can give you all the tips and tricks, but I can't sit there and force you to drink your water at all times of the day. You have to take that action. And if you choose not to, you're simply choosing not to pursue your goals. And again, that's fine. It might not be the right choice. It's not always the right time of your life, the time of the year to enter a fat loss phase, right? Totally fine. Awesome. Great. But you have to then take ownership and be okay with that choice, right? I can stay in support and be there when you do want to pursue that goal, right? Maintenance is a goal that we as humans and athletes may choose to spend time in, right? We choose not to push forward and push, a pace, or we choose to maintain. We choose to maintain our body, our strength, etc., right? If we have a busy time, simply getting in the gym to maintain is awesome. Like, that is a goal. I was talking to a couple of people and they said, this time where everything's opening up again, they're focusing on the things that they can control, but they're not beating themselves up over extra meals out, seeing friends they haven't seen, seeing family they haven't seen, right? I would say that that's a time of maintenance and 1000% acceptable. And honestly, probably an amazing goal for this time, right? And that's how we're choosing to approach this time, right? And that's totally okay. But unfortunately, if we do have that long-term goal, say it is a fat loss goal, right? It feels good to think about your goals, to plan for the future, and to wish and hope that things were different, right? It's comfortable to stay where you're at right now and do what you're doing right now. This leads us to spending too much time in this moment of inaction, right? It doesn't allow us to break forward, step into the uncomfortable, and take action towards those goals. In this time of being stuck, thinking about the future, thinking we're taking action, we're truly not. We're staying stuck in habits and things that keep us where we're at. By not taking action, we are by default choosing inaction, right? There are only those two options. If you choose action, if you drink the water, if we eat the protein, if we continue to move forward, that's where change will come, right? That's what creates change. And I've talked about this probably in every episode. That's the reason for my empowered actions at the end. Action is the key. Action is what brings you forward. Action is what makes those goals that you have set a reality for yourself. If you choose action, that's where change will come. It's the choice to make things different than they are, to pick up the hammer and nails and start putting the foundation on the house. It's the choice to do the tough, the uncomfortable work in your life to reach a further long-term goal. It's to give up the comfortability now for the results that you want in the future. It's the choice to take responsibility and ownership over your program. It's the choice not to have a snack when you're not hungry, despite being stressed, overwhelmed, or experiencing a cue that triggers a subconscious habit. It's a choice to break those habit loops. As a coach, I cannot take this action for you. Like I said, I can only provide the tools that allow you to make that action easier to take for yourself. Let's bring this back to our programming specifically and away from our tools analogy. All the numbers that are written down, those matter. The weight prescribed for each lift, that matters. The tempo or speed you should perform the exercise at, that matters too. I can't speak for other gyms, but with all the coaches at Unity, when we program, there's a reason for each and every number, letter, exercise that we put in that program. Nothing is arbitrary. When we do program, we first think about that end goal, right? What do we want to do? At Unity, we use 6-week phases, but what do we want to do in the next 6 weeks? Where do we want to be? Or even longer, how does that 6 weeks fit into the next 12 weeks, right? Or the next 18 or the next 24? How do they all fit together? We then work backward to where we need to start to guarantee the outcome we want to achieve. So when we neglect to follow the path, we're not going to reach the top of the mountain. Okay? Now I'm transferring analogies, but let's go back to our building a house analogy. If we miss a screw here, we don't measure. We miss 1/8 of an inch here and there. We're going to have a structurally unsafe home. Now, I personally have never built a home, but I did build sets for plays in high school. And I can assure you that an eighth of an inch, when you add them up, say 8 times, that is an inch difference. That matters. That is a large difference, right? It's the same when looking at the numbers on our program. Those numbers matter. If the exercise has a slow tempo, meaning you're supposed to go, say it's a 3-second count down and a 3-second count up for whatever the exercise is, but you speed through it with no regard to the time that was set, you're not going to get the benefit from that tempo that the coach specifically wrote in there for you. There was a reason that was placed in your program. Or again, there should have been. I can't speak for other coaches, but if you ask a coach at Unity who created your program, or likely all of us, since we program as a team, they'll be able to tell you why exactly they wrote it the way they did, why that tempo matters, why they chose the exercise, the sets, the rep scheme, that tempo, etc. There's a reason for every single little part of it. But these numbers really only truly matter if you execute them. You have to take ownership and responsibility over your program, or you're leaving it on the table. When we don't take that responsibility, we are choosing inaction, right? You have to take action. You have to choose to own your program, to execute that program to the best of your abilities, to truly strive. Again, if there's a number on there that you can't execute, right? Say it's a ridiculously heavy squat with too long of a pause. Now that's just a poor choice of programming, right? We can adjust the program. But if we don't even make an attempt to follow the numbers, then that's where I'm talking about, where we have to take ownership. We have to tie ourselves into the program. We have to own and execute that program to the highest degree of ability. So that leads me to my disclaimer, right? There's no one way to do it, right? So there can always be things that are adjusted, changed, or swapped on the fly for still such an efficient and effective program. And again, this is where the coach comes in. For example, when we moved at Unity to a pod system, when we reopened, we had to adjust our programming. We only have 2 cable machines in the gym. We can't have 6 people doing cable-based exercises since we weren't sharing equipment. So I couldn't give someone a rack, a cable machine, and a sled. Those 3 things are all over the gym. I can't have people moving around. So we had to adjust, right? This is a tools problem. Falls into our coach's role within the program. But once those tools are provided for you, that's when you execute. The principle of taking responsibility and ownership over your program holds true regardless of the tools that might be at your disposal. The coach chooses the tools, you put the house together. This brings me to our empowered action. Now, this whole episode was really a call to action, but for more of a direction. Are you choosing action or are you choosing inaction? Be happy with that choice. Spend time, reflect, and own it. Are you taking action on your program? Are you paying attention to the little details and the notes? Take inventory this week. Where can you take more action? Where can you take more ownership? Are you already taking action and ownership? Keep doing that. If you are taking it, can you refine it at all? Whatever you need, whatever you discover in this week of reflection, just do it. Take the ownership, take responsibility, and execute. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's all I have for this week. Again, a nice, short, quick episode, but I think one that was super important for everyone to hear. As always, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, leave a rating and review. I very much appreciate it. It helps the show grow. Or if you found this episode super helpful and you would like to share it with a friend or family member, that means just as much. If there's something you want me to cover in a future episode, you can shoot me an email at coachemilymeyer@gmail.com, or you can shoot me an Instagram or Facebook message. My social media handle is Coach Emily Meyer on all platforms, and I will chat with you guys next week. Bye.